Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What's shaking on your Thursday night? Hope everything is going all right. Hey, those of us with hair will mess with it. Know what I'm saying? Johnny's here. He says it's hashtag gully time. It sure is. It sure is. I was a little bit excited earlier in the day because, and last night, there's been some Stuttering John things going on. And he was actually on a show that I don't care for last night, but there was plenty of fireworks, and it was certainly an entertaining show last night because there was this woman on the show that just kept making Stuttering John she was hammering. She was going to the body like Rocky Balboa. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. But there's a gentleman on there that I can't stand that has a disability. It has nothing to do with I can't stand him. And by the way, I feel sorry for everyone with a disability to some extent. But when you're a jerk and you have a disability, it makes it a lot harder. Anyway, this particular guy, he became Tearful John. And normally, who cares? But I was excited because I knew that would give me an opportunity to do my imitation of Tearful John. I knew I would have a chance to do Tearful John. It's so fake. So fake. But it was Tearful John. The only worse John than Tearful John is Amorous John. So, Mama Pajama got up to 50 some degrees today. I wonder what it is right now. Here in Dallas. 59 degrees right now. And guess what? It's going to be like 19 in a day or something. So don't get too crazy about it. But hey, good to see everybody. Wild Bill's here. Paused up Patriots here. John hated the cow. Boy, did John hate the cow. The cow was funny, though. Husey got into the show and got it for just a second. I can't say it's terrible because I don't know that I would be that big of a fan of the cow, except for last night when he was awesome. But I know Lemme, and I know the cow and Lemme are in a relationship or something. And that just makes me like the cow more because she was just awesome. She was just giving it to him every time. And even Bobby Nick and that. But at the end of the show, when John was at his most trashed, that's when they came on like gangbusters and wouldn't let him off the hook. That's also the time Stevie Lou, who was defending John and wouldn't let anybody really take him to task, chose to have a long conversation on the phone, off screen. Bad mistake. Bad mistake. And then John just ran away like a little baby. Poor John was crying. I know. It was terrible. It was just so terrible, terrible, terrible. But enough of that. I've got some excitement after I do the show today. Well, I don't know if it's excitement, but it's pretty good, maybe. Hey, let me tell you about the destruction of the Russian submarine the Kursk. Its dateline August the 12th, 2000. And with the scandalous 1972 basketball game that I told you about, still fresh in the memory of the world, the gigantic Oscar II class submarine, that's the biggest, I guess, in Russia. The K-141, the Kursk, there's a picture of it right there, sank in the Barents Sea. Well, now, this sub was taking part in the first major Russian naval exercise in 10 years. And here's how well that went. All 118 on board perished. All of them were killed. Now, the Russians came up with tons of excuses as to why and how this happened. But let's put it this way. Nearby ships first felt an explosion. And then a few minutes later, they felt a second, much, much, much more gigantic explosions. Now, the Russians, they didn't realize anything had gone wrong and didn't even start investigating for 6 hours, although the Norwegians and others knew there was something really wrong when they detected the first explosions. It took 16 hours for the Russians just to locate the Kursk. And over the next 4 days, okay, the Russians couldn't get different diving bells and submersibles attached to an escape hatch. Now, here's the terrible part about that. The US of A, we know exactly, and even in 2000, would know exactly and precisely where our submarines are at all times. Even if one of them exploded, we would have known down to the inch where that happened. The Russians? So the international community offered its help in an outpouring of compassion. But President Vladimir Putin was on vacation, so it took him 5 days to authorize help from the British and the Norwegians and others. Here's some of those famous people, the British and the Norwegians, just hanging out, trying to help out. Here's an incredible vessel that the Norwegians had that was made for the express purpose of saving people trapped in submarines. That's the only thing you can use it for. And the Russians said, nah, we don't think so. You know why? Because we have this, which looks just like a life raft or something. But anyway, 2 days after that, those British and Norwegian divers finally opened the hatch to the escape trunk, but there were not any survivors aboard. There was an investigation, and it found that a bad weld on one of the torpedoes had caused high-test peroxide to leak, initiating a catalytic explosion that blew off the inner and outer tube doors. So the doors that they have for the tubes, the torpedoes, the inner ones inside the ship and the outer ones that you seal so water can't get into the sub, yeah, those were both blown out. Also, the high-test peroxide leak started a fire which exploded the bulkhead between the first and second compartments, damaged the control room to the submarine in the second compartment, and killed the torpedo crew and the control room crew. So no more torpedo guys, no more control room guys. And one of the things that you'll probably find on most submarines is you want your control room guys to be alive, because that's where all the control happens. But as it turns out, that's the good news here. Because 2 minutes and 15 seconds later, another 5 to 7 torpedo warheads exploded. And those tore a large hole in the hull, collapsed bulkheads in the next 3 compartments, and all of the decks, and killed everyone that was alive ahead of the 6th compartment, okay? Now, the very last compartment was the 9th compartment, and 23 sailors took refuge in the 9th compartment, and they survived 6 hours. And that was the good news here, because when oxygen got scarce in that 9th compartment, they tried to replace a potassium superoxide chemical oxygen cartridge, basically a cartridge that would allow for the dispersal of more oxygen. But it fell into oily seawater and exploded immediately. The fire that followed killed a bunch of crew members that were trying to install this thing. And what's worse, the flash fire that followed, because fire consumes oxygen, it consumed the rest of the oxygen, and that killed the rest of the survivors. Now, they didn't raise the Kursk or the survivors who are trapped inside they're not survivors, they're the deceased, crew members. They didn't raise any of those things for 15 months. The supposedly top secret investigation revealed stunning breaches of discipline, shoddy, obsolete, and poorly maintained equipment, along with negligence, incompetence, and mismanagement. You think? You think? All right, here's a few things. You can see up here at the top, this is a Los Angeles class sub, and you can see that it's 472 feet long. Now, our biggest is the Los Angeles class, and it's only 361 feet long, okay? So ours is about 7,000 tons submerged. Theirs is about 16,000 tons submerged. You can see them both from the bottom. Theirs is about 59 feet wide. Ours is 33, and, theirs is 29 feet high. So is ours. So there's no difference there. I'll give you a few highlights of this whole thing. Why don't I just go ahead and put that there? This is the Kursk after they brought it up from the ocean floor. Was it bad for me to laugh when John was crying? No, not at all. Do you think it was on purpose? No, I do not. I do not. Remember my Bill says, oops. Yeah, snafu, foobar. Oh, yeah, it was bad news, man. Very, very, very bad news what happened there. But the fact that they wouldn't let anybody help or all this secrecy, I could have made it part of this report, but there was one lieutenant. Incidentally, the 6 hours they survived, they were freezing cold. It was difficult to breathe. I mean, it was torture. And there was one guy that was writing notes with pencil. And his last note was like, there's only a 10, 20% chance that we're going to survive this. It was awful. And all these other ships knew something was wrong. The Russians didn't even know, and they wouldn't let them help. So here's a few of the highlights. The Kursk had just won a citation for excellent performance and the best submarine crew in the Northern Fleet. Yeah. They had a full complement of weapons, and the Kursk was reputedly unsinkable and could survive a torpedo hit. I guess it just couldn't survive a torpedo explosion from the inside, but Norway measured the first explosion as a 1.5 on the Richter scale. And that's the good news here, because the second one was measured at 4.2 on the Richter scale, which is a lot. The British, the Germans, the Israelis, the Italians, as well as the Norwegians and the Americans offered help, and all of it was refused by the Soviets, who were telling the press that a rescue was at hand. 2 days after the explosions, the Russians reported minor technical difficulties and that everyone on board was alive when nothing could be further than from the truth. Then the Russians contended that the Kursk, must have hit an old World War II mine, in the year 2000, and that all sailors had died before the sub hit the bottom of the ocean. Then the Russians claimed to have collided with a NATO submarine, which was later proven in about a dozen ways to have been impossible. First of all, no NATO submarines in the area. Second of all, all of the sonar evidence of this explosion indicated that it could not have been one thing striking another. Also, for two subs to create a 4.2 on the Richter scale collision, where's the other sub? It wouldn't have been able to travel. They kept disproving it. Anyway, next, I got to show you this. This is, just look at the expression on the faces here. In a very bad move, Vladimir Putin met with the families of the crewmen aboard. About 10 days after the sinking, he met at a Navy base officers club in front of 350 family members of the Kursk's crew. Two journalists posed as family members and got the story. Okay, so they're posing as family members, but they're really journalists. And there's mothers howling at Putin regarding the conflicting information they were getting and who'd be held responsible. They're screaming at Vladimir Putin, "Do you believe our men are still alive? Why have you murdered our children? Will the bodies be brought home? When will we get them back, alive or dead?" The hostile meeting lasted 3 to 6 hours. Incidentally, there is footage of him leaving this meeting and people just hassling, which you never see happen in the Soviet Union. So that meeting lasted 3 to 6 hours. One mother told Putin and his deputy minister, "You better shoot us now. We won't let you live, you bastards." And when she wouldn't be quiet, a nurse snuck up behind her, injected her through her clothes with a sedative to make her shut up. At which point, Putin blamed the media for the entire controversy. So that's kind of the story of the disaster aboard the Kursk. There are some of those Norwegians and others with that tanker in the background that was, I guess, going to try and lift it up. This was a special Norwegian vessel that they're British, one of the two, that's specialty was basically going down to subs, attaching to their hood and going in and saving people. That's the piece of junk the Russians had to do it, which wasn't working. That is the Kursk itself. This is the Kursk 15 months later after it was brought off the bed of the ocean. As you can see, the whole front of it was blown completely off. And so, yeah. What do we got here? Let's see here. Paz said they didn't want NATO to snoop on their sub technology. You're correct, but also it was nothing that we didn't already know with those high test peroxide torpedo, all that. We knew everything, you know? And truthfully, the part of the sub that had been destroyed first is the only part we would care about. Getting all those dudes out of the 9th compartment and back, that's just drilling a hole, getting them out and leaving. There's nothing back. It was a cargo space or something. It was nothing. So the crew was having a bad day. Yep. Yepers, they hit a World War II mine. That explains everything. Rari Incitatus, hope I say that correctly. This was in 2000. Man, I guess that incompetence wasn't Soviet. No, it was Russian. It was Russian incompetence. Look at that Nancy handshake of Putin's. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, that is a little bit of a fish grip, isn't it? Isn't it? What a heartfelt handshake. Look at his wife. Boy, isn't she a looker? Look at the dour look on her face. And look at these people in the back with the typical Russian. Anyway, Julian Caesar says unsinkable. Well, it didn't actually sink. It just went down and didn't surface. That's right. Blame the media. Rari Instata says no Xbox controller needed for this to go horribly wrong. Yes, it was only at a depth of about 400 feet when this happened. It wasn't even like it was, going down to the Hindenburg. The Titanic. A little TLC and that sub would be just fine. Wife, I thought that was his son. Look at the guy on the right here. Is like, the submarine go down. Nothing happened. What is going on? I'd get down there with some Elmer's glue. It'd be fine. Hey, the TomGulleyShow.com is where you can get a bunch of top quality name brand merchandise. Like, which one did I pull today? Oh, yeah, this Happy Girl. Now, see, she gets to be a model for our products because she's smiling and there's some evidence there that she might be a looker. Just some evidence. Let's see here. Hugh says if it did what it was designed to do until it didn't. Also, if you would please, if you can, go to paypal.me/Tom Gully Show, and a little something for the cause, a little something for the effort. Incidentally, behind me is the monument to the Kursk, because you know how I love to get thematic with my backgrounds. And Reverend Wild Bill has a sentence fragment for us there. If you enjoy the... So there's that. Or you can go to patreon.com, The Tom Gully Show, and there's things there that you won't see anywhere else. No, sir. So there's all that. Our good friends on the Kursk. I told you guys I was going to, let's see here. There's Wild Bill, the rest of his stuff. If you like the show, enjoy the show, be sure to hit that like and smash that share. It costs nothing and helped a lot. You know, it really does. It doesn't cost you nothing. Now, we believe that the preferred way to watch this program is on YouTube. That's where I really need the monetization. But you know, failing that, if you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on Twitter, you go ahead, retweet, like, share, all those things. And if you're on YouTube, if you could like the program and then subscribe, and you can also make that little bell thing, which is supposed to let you in on some notification. Didn't accurately judge the amount of soda I was going to need for this show today. My problem. Now, I told you I was going to bring in my... Rari says, do you still mainly need watch hours? Yes, Rari, I still do. I'm cool on subscribers and all the other metrics. I need watch hours badly. I'm only like halfway to the 3,000 watch hours that I need. Wild Bill says, and on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and click the bell for all notifications. Yeah, do that. There is an 8-hour show from like New Year's Eve 2020 that if you click that before you go to bed, man, that'll get me, because we're not going to, it's going to be months and months and months before I get monetized at the rate we're going. So I told you guys last night that I was going to tell you about my old time radio collection. Which I'll do after I read this. Julian Caesar says there was a U.S. sub that sunk during World War II called the Tang that accidentally sunk itself. A few of the guys actually survived after the sub settled on bottom. I'll look into the Tang. There's another one called the Thresher that experienced a catastrophic failure. That's a U.S. Sub. Not familiar with the Tang, but I am familiar with the Thresher. But I'll look into it. I'll look into the Tang, which the astronauts drank out in outer space. Reverend Wild Bill says, I was going to say, click on the 8-hour New Year's show before you go to bed, mute it, and let it run all night for the hour credits on YouTube. Yeah, that'll get me my view hour. Ooh, no, I think that still counts. Pretty sure it still counts. Okay, so Abbott and Costello. I have Abbott and Costello. I mean, a lot of Abbott and Costello. From 1940 all the way to 1949. Probably more than that. I thought it might be kind of fun if I got on Internet Archive. Let's see here. Let me see here. If I got on here, here we go. I could do a little of this, I suppose. If it'll just cooperate here, Internet Archive. For the love of poo. Let's see here. Okay, I'm not I'm not waiting all friggin' day on that. Remember while Bill likes Abbott and Costello's horror movies. Let's see if it goes faster here on this. That's funny. That's some funny stuff there. Come on now. I didn't realize that. And that's starting to, that's better. All right, let's see if I can get some Abbott and Costello. Man, that's going slower than hell. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's see here. That's not making me very happy. Let's see. Okay. By golly. Single episodes. Here we go. This is taking a long time. This is twerking me off. Although I have a lot of time because I went through the Kursk blowing up really fast because I don't think people care about the Russians. Do you? I don't care about the Russians. Let's see if I can get a good one here. How about, let's try that one. Let's try this one here. Let's see if we can just get the opening of one of these. Come on. Come on. Except it's going way too slow. It's ticking me off here. Come on. Play.
The Abbott and Costello program brought to you by Camels, the cigarette that's first in the service. Camels stay fresh because they're packed to go around the world. Listen to the music of Freddie Rich and his orchestra, the songs of Connie Haynes. Tonight's guest, one of radio's favorite comedians, Judy Canova, and starring Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
There you are, Costello. Here it is, the first program of the new year, and you're late.
Oh, so I'm late?
Yeah.
Well, it's all on account of leap year, Abbott. I was passing the corner on Hollywood and Vine, and 30 women jumped on me.
30 women at Hollywood?
30.
At Hollywood and Vine?
Hollywood and Vine.
That's where the wolves hang out.
This year, it's Wolverines.
Oh, stop.
Anyway, you all remember Abbott and Costello, don't you? Sure you do. Sure you do. Everybody remembers them. Also, by the way, I have all of Abbott and Costello. All of their radio show that ever existed. I have all of it. All of it. And now I also have Bing Crosby here. And that is... It's really Kraft Music Hall is the name of the program that Bing Crosby hosted. It was, that's what I'm going to look up here. And I have all of it too. Kraft Music Hall was on forever. Forever. Let's see. Kraft Music Hall. Bing Crosby. See if I can find them here. Oh, that's just songs. Okay. I have 4 CDs of MP3s of Bing Crosby and Kraft Music Hall. And right here, this says 708 episodes. So 708 episodes, probably pretty close to what I have on CD. And I mean a lot. But it's amazing to me that just the beginning of Abbott and Costello, I know that by heart. I mean, I know it just by heart. Let's see here. 15 minutes. Bing Crosby. I don't want the Bing Crosby show. I want Kraft Music Hall. Let's see. Kraft Music Hall. So I ought to be able to go to, say, like right here, maybe. Bing Crosby show. Bing and Rosemary. You hear that crap? Oh, come on. Make it easier than this for me, would you please? The Chesterfield show. So let me see if this is alphabetical. General Electric show. I don't care about that. Kraft Music Hall. Boom. Let's see. Okay, this would be a good episode because this is one with Bob Hope as a guest star. So we'll just wait a second for this thing to actually start playing. But Kraft Music Hall was the Bing Crosby show. He had several other shows. Here we go.
The Kraft Music Hall with Bing Crosby, John Scott Trotter and his orchestra, Marilyn Maxwell, the Music Maids and Man, Yuki, the Charioteers, and Bing's guest this evening, Bob Hope, the famous actor, singer, dancer, and author. And here with a new tune from his forthcoming picture, Going My Way, is Bing Crosby.
Uh-oh. He's going to do I'd Rather Be a Mule. Here he comes. Come on now.
How would you like to swing on a star? Carry
Moonbeams home in a jar. And you'll be better off if you are. Or would you rather be a mule? A mule is an animal with long, funny ears.
Kicks up at anything he hears.
Okay, here's a better. Maybe we'll see a better recording here of Bob Hope.
The Kraft Music Hall with Bing Crosby, John Scott Trotter and his orchestra, Marilyn Maxwell, the Music Maids and Men, Yuki, the Charioteers, and that distinguished author and globetrotter, Bob Hope. But here's Bing Crosby with a tune they're singing all over the United Nations from Brooklyn to Bombay.
There's a troop ship just leaving Bombay, bound for the Blimey shore.
Man, I'd love to get those two singing The Road to Morocco together. However, let's see if we can get Bing and Bob doing some comedy together.
All night, turning up a quarter, all right. After forever.
Come on, Bing and Bob.
How about wading in that brook over there? Come on, I'll beat you.
Harry, wait for me.
Come on in. Come on. This wading's great. Makes your feet feel fine and cool.
Well, it'd even feel cooler if you took off your shoes and socks.
I can't.
Why not?
No socks.
Oh, Harry, you're...
That's his brother, Harry Crosby.
Friends? Yeah, drop that young lady. Friends, I have happy news for you. Bob Hope is leaving the country. Lacking the temerity to linger. Right, Rob?
Yes, by now thousands of my public have a copy of my book in their hands.
What a spot for a soap commercial. Sneer at me.
Who needs soap? The book will clean up. Simon & Schuster, my publishers, were advertising me as a second Hemingway.
Who made them stop?
The first Hemingway.
Well, now, at the risk of flattering you, Flab, I must confess I have heard
Yes,
folks...
Drab?
Folks have been saying that this tiresome tome of yours does contribute something to the war effort.
Yeah, what did you hear it contributed most to?
The waste paper drive.
Well,
Anyway, Kraft Music Hall. That's Bing Crosby show. I have all of it. I have a bunch of Bob and Ray here. I'm not going to... I mean, Bob and Ray are probably a subject for another day just by themselves. But and then I have Bob Hope, which was the Pepsodent Hour for the most part. And then I have Dragnet. Oh, my goodness, Dragnet. Am I going to have to pull up some Dragnet here? Let me see here. On the radio. Dragnet on the radio. You'll get to hear how Dragnet on the radio, in the old days, sounds a lot like Dragnet on the TV in the new days. Or the newer days. Let me see here. Let's see. Diane O'Brien says, hey, it took me a while to get on the live Facebook. Facebook not helping. Yeah, well, then you got to go to YouTube. YouTube is the way to go if you can't get on Facebook. But nice to see you, Diana. Has all the monsters in it except the creature. Well, they had all of the universal monsters. The Subs crest has a holy hand grenade on it just to let toss it. They were so funny. Who's on first? Bing Crosby making fun of a mule's ears. Ever seen his ears? Yeah. Hearing this music, I think of the Rat Pack. A little bit. Just a little bit. Let's see if we can get a little Dragnet going on. From the 50s, the Dragnet was, of course, Jack Webb. was on during the 50s, and I have single episodes of it here. Or at least I should. Oh, here we go. What in the name of... This doesn't look like the... Yeah, here we go. This is Dragnet. And it's Jack Webb. And then they did it on TV. They did a lot of these actual episodes on TV, by the way. After...
Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, first cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A nightclub manager has been robbed and killed. The killers made good their escape. Their identity is unknown. Your job, get them.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, April 7th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. I was on the way back from R&I, and it was 1:46 p.m. when I got to the interrogation room.
Anyway, a lot like Dragnet ended up being up on TV. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let's go back and see if the chat here, and I'll just work my way through these. Kind of sounds like Dean. He does a little bit. They're both crooners. You know, Diane O'Brien says, fine getting on YouTube. Couldn't comment, though, Tom. Well, you have to have a YouTube account. But they're free. Just use your Google account. Or just do Facebook and hope they eventually get with it. The old shows really did promote smoking. They really did, man. They really did. I understand for them to sponsor your show, you had to smoke their brand on the show. Not only did you have to smoke their brand on the show, you might have to do a full-page ad on the back of a magazine, which Jack Webb did lots of those. Julian Caesar says, read Dragnet. Tom, those are actual musicians. Yes, they are. Thank you for mentioning that, Julian. Those are real symphony orchestra musicians in the studio, and so are the Foley guys. The sound effect guys are right there in the studio. Some of the shows, the comedy shows, not so much the drama shows, but the comedy shows were performed in front of a live audience. So you'd see people standing around microphones reading scripts. They weren't necessarily doing what they were supposed to be doing in the show, but the sound effects were there, so it sounded like it. Badge 714, that's right. Julian Caesar, live musicians in the studio, without question. Without question. So let's see, I have all of Dragnet. I have every single episode of Dragnet. Now, this next one is, and I don't have all of these because nobody has all of these. Duffy's Tavern may be my most favorite comedy ever. It's one of the ones that are really up there. And you probably haven't heard of it. It is raucously funny. It's about sort of a low-end tavern in New York. You know, Duffy's Tavern, Duffy ain't here, Arch the manager speaking. You know, Duffy's Tavern, whether you eat meat to eat. And I'm going to play you a little of it right now. Hopefully you'll enjoy a little bit, just a little bit of Duffy's Tavern. What's on radio? Let's get Duffy's Tavern. And the hard thing is, not a ton of them exist anymore, and not all of them are very well recorded. Sadly, it's sad. Now, keep in mind, when I bought all my CDs, I couldn't just get these online this way. Let's see. Who's a good guest? Here's one that says, here's Orson Welles. This might be funny, from 1943. Let's just see if the recording's any good. very Bronx, very low-end New York, but very funny. A little adult, too, for its time. And this is from the Armed Forces Radio Service, by the way. And oh, come on. Come on. Let's go. I'm going to turn this off. Maybe that'll help. Turning off the phone line.
Hello? Duffy's Tavern, where the elite meet to eat. Special today, pig's pickled feet. Archie speaking. Duffy ain't here. Oh, hello, Duffy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, must be 3 or 4 customers here already. You hear that, Duffy? You're in business again. Listen, Duffy, you picked out a very bad time to call up. Yeah, we're just going to go on the air for a broadcast. Now, wait a minute, Duffy. Don't get all excited. It ain't costing a cent. No, the network's doing it for prestige. Well, now, Duffy, I can't brandy words with you now. We're just going on the air, I'm telling you. Goodbye, Duffy. I'll see you later.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mel Allen. Forecast invites you to join us for a decidedly informal evening at Duffy's Tavern, where anyone under the sun is likely to drop in any time to talk things over with Archie. Almost anyone may drop in tonight. Now, people we're sure will be around, however, are Gertrude Neeson, Colonel Stoopnagel, Larry Adler, and John Kirby's orchestra. And now I turn you over to that past master of ceremonies, Archie.
Thank you very much.
It'd be interesting to listen to this one to hear when they do introduce Orson Welles, because the place will go crazy. However, it's not cooperating with me. Therefore, we may just dump out of it, which we're gonna, because I don't have that kind of patience. Sorry. Anyway, Duffy's Tavern, incredible old show. What else do I have here in my collection? I actually did a smart thing and recorded a log of all my stuff. Bergen and McCarthy would be what normally the Chase Sanborn hour. Let's see. Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. It says there's 48 episodes here, but I'm going to go to the one with 255 because the Chase Sanborn hour was the Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy show. It also had Don Amici and the Bickersons, which are frankly hilarious. Let's see. Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy. Let's see if I can find one with W.C. Fields. Charlie McCarthy and W.C. Fields were famous for final appearance by W.C. Fields as a regular cast member, and that's in 1937. Let's just go ahead and give that a listen. Chase Sanborn was an hour on the radio, which was a big deal.
The makers of Chase and Sanborn coffee, the superb blend which you can now get at such a reasonable price, present the Chase and Sanborn Hour. And your host, Don Amici. Yes, this is the Chase and Sanborn Hour, and this is Don Amici with a warm welcome from all of us. From Nelson Eddy, whose glorious voice has made him one of the best beloved singers of our day. From public funny man number 1, our own W.C. Fields. From lovely Dorothy Lamour.
Well, aren't you going to mention Bergen?
Charlie, please.
Well, it never hurts to get your name in, Bergen.
And, of course, from that inseparable and inimitable pair, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. We hope you'll enjoy our show and that we can count you as friends, and, of course, friends of Chase and Sanborn. Robert Armbruster puts his welcome into music with a new tune, Feeling Like a Million.
Very common for the shows to open up with some sort of song. This show had just huge stars. I mean, Don Amici was an Academy Award-winning actor. And you had Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. He was a ventriloquist, which played really well over the radio. And then W.C. Fields hated Charlie McCarthy. I'm going to see if I can get you some of that.
What does all this mean, huh?
Well, when you translate it into English, it means, if you can't... Oh, I don't even care if you buy some.
I see. Charlie, this lemonade doesn't taste as good as last week's. 6 lemon dogs that are 4 times 10 cents apiece, huh?
So 4 and 2 is 4 cents.
I'm sorry, I want 6 lemonades and 4 hot dogs.
You don't even know that. I'll tell you, being a friend of mine, I'll try and get your price. All right. I'll talk to answer, but it can't be right.
It's awesome when Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy and W.C. Fields make fun of each other.
What do you got there?
It comes out 13... I see. Lemons, 15 cents. Sugar, 10 cents. And charity, 20 cents. Oh, I see that.
And what is this 20 cents for charity?
Well, it's a needy cause. It's for lemons, 15.
The Rush, freshly rolled.
Just trying to find W.C. Fields making fun of the little wooden... If I can't real fast here, then we'll just...
I'd wander free as air. I'd be a happy rover. I would roam apart.
See if this will do. Come on. Be good to Daddy. It's going to take me a couple days to go through this whole collection, Chief. Fans, friends. Let's just see what our chat room's doing here real fast. Let's see here. Love Ocean Wells. Used to Concord Radio Theater and then film. By the time he was 24, he'd done it all. Julian Caesar says there used to be some guy on WCAU who would play all these old show late nights in the 80s. They were recordings from his old collection he'd bring into the radio station. Same here, got mine. Linda Kisling's here, says, hey, Mel Allen voiced the Yankees. Different Mel Allen. Rib Wubba says, catch it.
Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy and Don Amici.
Wow.
Just for that, young man. I'll be very nice to them. Oh, you mean a tattooing set? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't even want to listen to that. Let's see if this one's any better. God, that was awful. Man, Reverend Bill's...
Charlie McCarthy. Especially...
really quickly, I want to answer this question. I guess. I don't know what the hell happened. Thank you, StreamYard. Thank you. Thank you for helping. Always help. These platforms are always helping. They're just always helping. Anyway, let's see.
For all you soldiers.
Although I admit I, of course, am not as young as I used to be. Yeah. And I don't... Yes. You... Chocolate. Mm-hmm. Yes, very nice. Yes, sir. What'd you say? Horoscope.
Oh, yes.
Oh, isn't that a little Capricorny? All right.
I say there, which one of you chaps is next? Oh. When I wore a tulip and I drank Miss Eula.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Here's some Charlie McCarthy and Edgar Bergen on the radio.
Are you eating a tomato or is that your nose?
Very good, Charles. You must come down with me after the show to the lumberyard to ride piggyback on the buzzsaws.
Nobody's going to find me after the show.
Yes, they are. You'll be hanging in my window as a Venetian blind.
Anyway, W.C. Fields was always threatening to obviously saw up Charlie McCarthy. Whatever. Stream it, sure. Are you guys okay again? Hopefully. Good criminy. Good criminy. So I've got Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy here, and then who else do I have? I have Fibber McGee of Molly, all of Fibber McGee of Molly. I've got all of Fred Allen, Great Gildersleeve, Gunsmoke, Jack Benny. I have all of Jack Benny. That is thousands of episodes. Lux Radio Theater, Lux Presents Hollywood. Let me see if I can find, let's see here. Lux Presents Hollywood. So here's the deal. Lux was a big manufacturer of soap products. And because of the fact that not everybody, because, you have to remember back in the day, less people lived in the city than lived in the country. And not everyone who lived in the country was close to a movie theater. So they didn't necessarily get to see movies that often. And so after a movie came out and was popular by 6 months, a year after it was really, really popular, Lux would put that movie on the radio. They would do a radio version of it, usually with the stars of it, but not always. And it was called Lux Radio Theater, and it sounded...
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theater brings you Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall in To Have and Have Not. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. William Keighley.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. We've had many premieres on the Lux Radio Theater.
Anyway, hopefully I'm still on. Anybody? Anybody? Am I actually on right now? I mean, I know how much you people love to tell me when something's screwed up, but occasionally it's nice when somebody says, "Oh, you're on again." Or I could just end the damn show right now. It doesn't matter to me. Mel Blanc had a show. You probably, yes, I'm on the air. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's so helpful. Very helpful, very helpful. Lux was... soap was beautiful. Used to blow bubbles as a kid. Lux was a sponsor as late as the Dick Van Dyke Show. And it's weird now because you don't hear of Lux anymore, but Lux was like shampoo, detergent, dishwashing. They were huge and all that stuff. You don't hear about them anymore. Mel Blanc, who all of you will remember as the voice of Porky Pig and everybody else, had his own show. I have all of that. Let's see here. This one says OTR General. So let's see, Bruns 2 list. Radio, CBS Radio Mystery Theater. I have a bunch of passage folder. What the hell is this? Oh boy, I have logs here from probably 50 shows where I think I only have 1 or 2 shows per episodes per these shows. Phil Harris and Alice Faye show. Let's see here. Lux Soap almost put out of business by World War II because they were getting all their raw materials in the Solomon Islands. That's correct. Delco Chris says, blank is Jack Benny's car. Yes. The, what's the name of the car? I should know it because of the name. Maxwell. His Maxwell. That was the name of his, the model of his car. Let's see here. I think I would like to do Phil Harris and Alice Faye real quickly. You know, the thing about Phil Harris and Alice Faye show is there are very good recordings of it. There's certain sponsors that kept excellent recordings of the shows, and then certain ones didn't care. All of Fibber, McGee, and Molly sounds great because Johnson & Johnson was the sponsor. And one of the heirs to Johnson & Johnson didn't want to be involved in product development and all that. He wanted to be in advertising. So they put him in charge of finding great shows to sponsor. And that's what he did. But he demanded that he get a quality copy of each show. And then he took it, the Johnson & Johnson copy, and they put it in like perfect humidity and stuff. And so those shows to this day sound really good. Or a lot of them have survived that way. Certain other ones did not. Let me see if I can find here. There's the Uke. Where's the Uke? It's one of my favorite episodes. The Uke. Hobby, Rexall for Willie Live Steer. Where's the Uke? Come on now. Engagement ring, fire chief, ski trip. Remley is fired. That's a funny one too. Phil Harris and Alice Faye is one of my favorite shows of all time as well. Come on. Give me the Uke. Give me the Uke. Ooh, 3 Gray Hairs. That's a good one. The ukulele. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Good health to all from Rexall. It's the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist.
Oh, God.
Welcoming you for the 10,000 independent druggists who have added the word Rexall to their own store names. You know us by the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows.
Yes.
The sign means that we carry the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall drug, not harm delicate
Nobody
membranes
cares.
of the mouth and throat. Uncompromising quality like this.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Scharf and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. Recently, we have seen the revival of many fads that were popular 20 years ago, such as the square dance, long skirts, short hair, and now the ukulele. It's been a windfall for Frankie Remley, as he's an expert on the uke and has been giving lessons to all the youngsters in town.
Now, look, I've been teaching you this tune for 3 weeks. Now, try once more, and this time get it right. A 1, a 2.
5'5", 5'2", eyes up, 5'2", eyes up blue, but oh, what those 5 feet could do has
It's too high.
It is not too high.
Then why is your nose bleeding?
5'2", eyes of blue, but oh, what those 5 feet could do has anybody seen my gal?
Curly, no.
Turned up nose.
Curly, no. You're fighting me. You haven't got it right.
What do you mean I haven't got it right? Are you going to try to tell me how to play the ukulele? That's my business. Why, 20 years ago, I was the rage of Nashville, Tennessee. I was known as Yukie Harris. Those were the happy days. I'll never forget my theme song. Egypt must be heaven, 'cause my mummy came from there.
Or...
Pull up the awning, Mother. Daddy's leading a shady life.
Yeah, I know. Just take it easy, flaming youth. We don't play it that way nowadays.
Oh, what do you know? Hey, Alice, honey. How'd you like the way I did the tune?
Oh, I thought it was the cat's pajamas. Are you through with your lesson, strumming, Sam?
Yes, I'm through.
Good. Now take off your blazer and I'll hang it up with your raccoon coat. What are you fellas trying to prove with these ukulele lessons?
It's a fad with the teenagers.
Yeah, all us kids are taking it up.
Kids? You two are kids?
Of course. A guy's no older than he feels. Inside, where it counts, we're young.
Outside, where it shows you're old.
Anyway, Phil Harris, Alice Faye, Rari in Katata says, I wonder if they'll ever react to Vines and old YouTube content like this someday. The good old days of 2007. In answer to your question, yes, they will do that. They will do that. They're going to do that. This stuff was before I was born. And I love it. I can't get enough of it. I mean, I probably should do a Saturday night or Sunday night show. And of course I can't because I'm beaten from doing radio from 5 till noon, and then 5 till 1 on the weekend. I am spent. But I should probably devote like one day a week to just replaying an old example of an old-time radio show, because this stuff is great. Just to go through some of the rest of the list, and I'm not saying I won't go through it again someday, because I might. I have Phil Marlowe, Philo Vance, another detective show. I have Playhouse Miscellaneous, which has all sorts of stuff on it. I mean, I don't need that Bing Crosby one here. Arch Obler, which was a Playhouse. Best of Plays, Campbell Playhouse, which was sponsored by Campbell Soup, Cavalcade of America, CBS Radio Workshop, Columbia Pictures Workshop, Damon Runyon Theater, Damon Runyon, a famous detective writer, Family Theater, Favorite Story, which was just favorite story. I have some Firesign Theater too. What else do I got here? Lux Radio Theater, just some more of those. Mercury Theater, NBC Theater, a great series called On Stage, Radio City Playhouse, Screen Directors Guild, Screen Guild. Let's see, what else do I got here in the Playhouse section? Sears Radio Theater, bunch of those. Theater 5, Studio 1, Theater 1030, This Is My Best, Warner Brothers Academy. So those are just some, I have a bunch of discs that are just sort of random, miscellaneous. I have Richard Diamond, which was with Dick Powell, incredible. Seal Test Variety Theater, that Dorothy Lamour was the host of. The Shadow, The Whistler. Interesting thing about The Whistler was a suspense program that the announcer, Bill Foreman, for Phil Harris, Alice Faye, he was the star of that show. You Are There was a history show where they would take you and they would put you at like the Alamo and say, the Alamo, you are there. And they would try to do it up with sound effects and stuff. I have some other variety shows. One was called The Big Show, Cavalcade of Music, Danny Kaye, Dennis Day, who was a member of the Jack Benny Show, Doris Day, G.I. Jive that I played for you, G.I. Journal, which was a little bit different of a show, but it was similar to G.I. Jive, Kraft Music Hall, Smack Out, Spotlight Review, Standard Hour, Texaco Star Theater, Victory Parade. All of these shows, 10,000 of them. 10,000 of them. Julian Zeezer says, saw Radio Days, the movie, about a year ago. Well, there's a lot of good movies about the radio from back then, but we're already into 7 o'clock here. I have probably bored a lot of people. I see our room count is substantially down from what it normally is. So maybe I'll just separate these particular radio shows, and if I get a day off or something, maybe I'll just do 3 or 4 shows. I used to invite people over to my home and play. I would play 2 comedies and either a drama or a variety. I would do 2 half-hour shows. One was a comedy always. One might be something like Richard Diamond. And then I would play a variety show of some kind that had music and comedy and other things in it. And that would be a party at my house, man. So, wow. All my stuff's gone now. All my files and things. So I guess the only thing to say is till next time, Thank you all for being here, by the way. Appreciate anybody that donated. Please like, please subscribe, please share. And till next time, we'll see you next time.